News at 4.
Happening now across the nation, people are participating in a day of protest over President Trump's national emergency declaration. From Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Chicago, Austin, and later tonight here in Seattle, people are taking to the streets furious over how the president is getting funding for the wall along the Mexican border. This is all happening on President's Day holiday. KOMO's Keith Eldridge is live in Olympia, where the state attorney general stands poised to sue the White House over it. Keith?
Yeah, absolutely. But first, he needs to see the actual direct impact on this state from that declaration. So right now, Bob Ferguson was the keynote speaker out here today as the people on the steps really meant to send a message.
To take a stand against tyranny.
The group calling itself Olympia Undivided, upset with the president's declaration of an emergency when Congress wouldn't pay for the wall.
There is no national emergency other than the crisis Trump has created himself at the southern border.
Retired Army Master Sergeant Terry Hansen said she just had to be here.
When will we learn? When will we learn walls and fences and barbed wire don't work?
Are you ready to stand up for the rule of law in our country?
State Attorney General Bob Ferguson says they knew this was coming and are ready to file suit against the Trump administration as soon as it's clear which projects in this state will be affected by diverting money from here to building the wall.
And if he impacts the projects here in the state of Washington, we have 4 words for him. See you in court. See you in court.
And he believes that he's some kind of emperor that can just willy-nilly make a decision violating the clear expressed intent of the Congress.
I believe it is an emergency.
Richard Hall showed up to show his support for the president's actions.
It's not at the border so much, but it's after the border crossing and they disappear undocumented into our country. A lot of bad things happen then, I think.
And there was this brief confrontation.
Get out of my face. It's assault. Get out of my face. Assault.
Yeah, and that's as far as it went. No one hurt, no arrests were made. At this point, the Attorney General is still trying to figure out and get specifics on which military programs could be affected here in the state before he files suit. He says he's filed suit against the president before, winning 17 cases, losing none. We're live on Olympia. Keith Eldridge, KOMO News.
The fight over President Trump's emergency declaration is likely destined for the courts. The declaration allows the president to tap into funding from other government agencies up to $8 billion. Members of both parties have come out against the move. In court, the Trump administration will have to demonstrate that there is an actual emergency, and some say the president's own words could play against him.
I didn't need to do this, but I'd rather do it much faster.
The state of California plans to sue the administration over the national emergency declaration. California says several other states are expected to join its lawsuit. Now it's
President Trump declared a national emergency after Congress refused to give him all but a fraction of the money he wants for a wall on the southern border. He plans to divert money from the military budget to build the wall. That threatens Joint Base Lewis McChord, one of the nation's largest military installations. Money for military readiness may be on the chopping block, along with funds to improve health care for service members, veterans, and their families. Representative Heck represents JBLM.
Evidently, what the president wants to do is not build military hospitals or housing for service members and their families, and instead spend it on a wall for which there's no evidence will actually solve a problem.
Attorney General Bob Ferguson may jump in with another lawsuit against the Trump administration.
Everybody's accountable to the rule of law in this country. You are, I am, and so is Donald Trump.
A man who would identify himself only as Rick supports President Trump.
And this has been going on for a long time. And it's time that something gets done with this. And Congress just won't do anything about it.
But Congressman Heck promised the crowd that the Democratic majority in the House will use the next round of appropriation bills to protect the military budget from Trump's plan.
Not 1 inch of that wall will be built under his declaration of emergency act. Not 1 inch. Not 1 inch.
That demonstration, one of many around the country organized by the group called Indivisible. Now, the state of California has already sued President Trump over the national emergency. Coming up live at 6, we ask Washington Attorney General Bob Ferguson why our state has not yet. Until then, reporting live in Lakewood, Essex border, KIRO 7 News.